Hey everybody, it's a Design Recharge episode. I don't know what I'm saying that. I'm super excited to have all my friends here, and maybe a few more will be popping in, but it's episode 345, and this is it's not a rapid recharge. It's a community meeting. That's what we're doing. A community meeting sounds very formal, like we're going to the place you go when your kids are bad or something. You know, what do you call that? Hey, Andre. He's from South Africa, but he lives in Portugal. So representing Portugal right now. Okay. Good to see you, Andre. Nobody's talking but me. My mom will be like, oh, really? A lot of people were talking. Nobody was talking. Jeremy is here. He's from Charlotte. Anyway, okay. So we have some questions. We're talking about accountability today. And then nobody laughs when I said that. So not so good. I'm going to have to cut this whole part out again. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Still nobody. You feel free to unmute yourself and laugh out loud.
Yeah, we have to keep our mouths muted.
All right.
Okay. All right. So here we go. I'm going to get everybody to introduce yourself. Today we're talking about accountability. So if you're in the chat, that's what we're talking about. And I'll have to say your first name. So Demi was here first. So Demi, you're going to go first. You're going to say where you live, what you do, and how long you've owned your own business.
Okay, I live in London, UK. I do brand identities for restaurants and other food businesses, and I've been having my own business for 2 years.
And you work with your wife?
No, I work.
Oh, never, no.
No.
I thought she was one of your...
She's self-employed, and I'm self-employed. We have separate businesses.
Oh, so sorry. We'll cut that out. We won't really, because I don't edit these things. Okay. Okay, Dave Coe, you're next.
My name is Dave Coe. I'm in Vancouver, Canada. And I run a little motion design business here in Vancouver. Technically, I guess legally in Canada, it's been since 2002 is when I've been in business. Prior to that, kind of been freelance solopreneur, and that evolved into the business. So, and I forget what the third part was. Was there a third part?
Oh, yeah, you did it. Where you live, what you do, and how long you've owned your own business.
Okay, great.
Good job. So since you live in Canada, we're going to go to Finn because she also lives in Canada.
I do. Woohoo. Okay, so my name is Finn, obviously. I live in Toronto, Canada. And I started my business just about 5 years ago. And initially, I was doing graphic and website design. And I'm now transitioning to being more of a personal brand coach.
Awesome. Okay, next up, Annalie.
Hello, my name is Annalie and I live in Stockholm, Sweden. I'm a brand strategist and I started my business 17 years ago.
And you've done lots of things. You do all kinds of things. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next, we'll wrap up our West Coast with Van Cooley.
Hi, everyone. I'm Van Cooley, and I'm in Portland, Oregon. What I do is make people hungry, both literally and figuratively. I'm a brand strategist, and I've run my business called Left of Sunset for 15 years, and recently shifting to facilitate workshops and offering coaching, personal brand coaching.
Awesome. And I just want you to know I lied to you. You weren't wrapping up the West Coast. It'll be Donahue, who I can't say her last name yet because I haven't practiced enough.
That's okay. I'll say it for you. I'm Donahue Mejia, and I do live in the West Coast. I live in the Bay Area near San Francisco. And I'm also a brand strategist and designer. And I work with women who have a vision and want their vision to come to life and need help with feeling less overwhelmed in their business and want to tackle their goals and their entire brand. So that's what I do, and I help them with that.
Okay. We're just moving east, people. So next is John and Dee Ingalls, but Dee will let you go first, and then John can pop in because you have a little bit of a different story.
Okay. So we're John and Dee Ingalls, and we run a business together. Our tagline is that we craft brands for companies that do good. We'd like to work with people who are in sustainability and, the green space. We've been in business for about 23 years, and we're from Central Illinois.
John, you want to add anything to that?
She's the brains of the organization. I do web development.
But you joined full-time last year. You want to tell them about that a little bit?
Yeah. So after working for a company that I was with for just over 30 years, there were some cutbacks and I lost my job at that point. And so we decided that I would just come on full-time with Dee to do web and app development. So kind of a joint force that started last year.
That's awesome. Okay. We're moving a little bit. I really don't know. I probably messed up on I was about to say agriculture. It's not geography is what I meant. Paul, because he's in Minnesota and they're in Illinois.
So we're kind of Midwest.
Yeah, Midwest.
That works. So I'm Paul Nylander. I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota. My company is Illustrator Design, which I started in 2011. So we're going to be coming up on 10 years next year. It's actually been since around 2001 that I've last had somebody that I could call a boss. Very happy for that. But what I do at Illustrator Design is book design. So covers, interiors, and any sort of long form content like that.
And you also make special books.
Yes. Try to make them all special.
But you do some things by hand, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's true. I'm also a book artist. So I make handmade books and letterpress printing and things like that. Kind of two sides of my world, neither of which is physics, but it all comes together somehow.
But maybe you can still be friends with Demi.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So Annalie says, is Nylander a Swedish name? And for the people listening, he's nodding. And my mom would say, Paul, she can't hear those rocks rattling around in your head. That's what she used to tell me all the time.
I need to nod harder then.
Yeah, his name is Paul Nylander. It's a Swedish name. Yeah.
I can do Paul. You do the Nylander part, the other part. And so Asha's here. Oh, go ahead.
We could have done North Coast, right? Because we've got Canada and Sweden and Minnesota. We're all kind of the same latitude, up here.
That's right. And Portland. Don't leave Van, right? Okay. All right. So we're going to keep going east, right? So that means, Andrew, you're up.
Hi, I'm Andrew Burnett. I have a company called Hello, which is how I answer the phone to everyone because I'm an idiot. I'm a brand strategist and namer. In the latest iteration of my business, it's been on the go for 4 years. Oh, and I'm in Edinburgh, Scotland.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And you also teach. You have created some courses, but you also teach at the University of Dundee, do some special classes, but you just launched recently, right?
Yes. I've been teaching for 5 years at a university, master students from all over the world. And again, because I'm an idiot, I only realized earlier this year that I should maybe teach people the same stuff online. So I've started packaging all of that up, and I teach digital marketing, and I've just got a new one that launches on Monday, which is hopefully launches on Monday, which is about how to get a kick name for your brand. Sorry, Diane's mom.
That's okay. I don't think that's such a bad word. I think my mom said that word before.
There's differences between what's okay here and what's okay in the States, and you can get really tripped up with that sometimes. So I'd rather err on the side of caution, especially when it's your mom.
I appreciate it. Okay, so and our last one, our newest. Well, no. I was about to say our newest dad, but you have two other kids. But he has the youngest baby in the house. It's Andre. He's in Portugal, but he's from South Africa. Tell us about you.
Yep. All right. So you can hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So living in Portugal, just outside of Lisbon, in a little surf and yoga town. Been doing my own thing for quite a while, but in the creative space, probably 3-4 years, a lot of studying that I'm really trying to, or getting a lot of traction in terms of brand strategy and identity design. Yeah, so that's where I'm at now. I'm starting to get a few more clients and build a little business from this. So that's where I'm at for now.
Okay. So the next question, since the whole thing is about accountability, at some point I meet with all of you, like some I've just met a couple times, or some I meet weekly at Design Recharge, right? And then some, and it didn't mean you had to meet with me. Some of you guys meet with each other. So Demi, out of, like, it doesn't have to be just these people, but can you kind of give an idea of, you know, do you meet with anybody regularly? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Do you meet with one person regularly,
I meet
or
with
lots of people regularly?
Several people.
Like how many several?
Okay, so one-on-one, I have engagements with 4 different people. These are all peer relationships, and I'm part of a bi-weekly group of peers, and I'm starting a group that I'm coaching, and they're mentees, so it's a different thing.
Okay, so then in the group thing that meets bi-weekly, how many people are in that group that's peers?
5.
Okay,
6. I'm the 6th. Yeah.
Okay.
So
it's a good round number.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I'm just going to go down. I won't be in the same order because I can't remember, and I'm not good with geography. So I'm just going to go with Annalie. How about you? Do you meet with anybody regularly?
Yes, I do. I do regularly with maybe 3 people a week.
Okay.
And then the groups, of course.
And then, so how many groups are you a part of?
2.
And how big are those groups?
They're kind of big, and that's why I'm starting a smaller one as well, because I think that's needed. But I also like the bigger groups, but I do it a lot because I just know people from Sweden, except a few relatives in the US. So I just want to learn. I want to learn to know more people and, you know, create relations. So I put in a lot of time actually right now, because I think that's important for me. So, yeah.
Okay, awesome. All right, Dave, you're next.
Well, I have one person that I've been meeting with for the last 8 months, Matt Hazard, who used to be part of the pro group. I think he dropped out a few months ago. So we've been meeting pretty much every week, just talking about our business and keeping ourselves accountable in terms of work. And then there's the largest group is the pro group, which I've been a part of since the beginning, when it was a free, not a paid group. Was in beta. And then I took a course last year with Seth Godin, one of Seth Godin's Akimbo courses on marketing. And I met 5 other people there. So we've been meeting up once a week now for the last 6 months, just talking about marketing. And now that the course is over, we're going through sort of like picking books and reading books and talking about that. And then on a totally different non-work thing, for the last 8 years, my wife and I have been part of a marriage group. So there's 2 other couples, and we meet up once a month to just talk about our marriage and our relationships, and just to keep ourselves accountable that way as well. So those are kind of the wide range of accountability groups and people that I'm involved with.
I love that, because we need it in all areas of our life, right? I believe. Okay, Finn, how about you?
I was just muting. Yes, I meet with several people. I've got three people, two of whom are here on this call, that I meet with regularly. And then I also am part of a mastermind group, and we meet weekly as well. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
All right, Andrew.
So I meet somewhat regularly with one person, and although wait a minute, how do I put this? I have got a couple of different people with whom I meet somewhat regularly, and
What's somewhat regularly? Are you talking about me and you? Because we meet regularly. Every 3 weeks.
But you know, it's kind of, that's it, right? So it's every 3, and then it kind of throws me a bit.
Is that not enough of a commitment? Do we need to go to every other week?
I'm completely committed. I've got no issues there whatsoever.
I know it's been like a year. Okay, so anyway, keep going.
Yeah, and then I've had at various different points. I have had like accountability partners, and I think here's that word again. Sorry, Diane's mum. What I struggled with was that after a while you become friends, and then you no longer kick each other's ass, and that's really what I need. I think I need someone I need like I don't know if you're familiar with the Pink Panther films. Peter Sellers had Kato was his manservant who would practice kind of martial arts on him, but just ad hoc, so he would just get attacked. And I that's what I need. I need like a ninja that'll just come at me. So what I've discovered now is that my mirror works really well as an accountability partner. So on my mirror, I've got these chalk pens, and I can write on my mirror the things that absolutely have to happen. And if I can't look myself in the face at the end of the day, and just be honest, and say, look, did you do it or did you not do it? And if not, then why the not? Then that actually tends to be better than anybody else who over time, it's lovely speaking to people, but over time the accountability element of it just kind of deteriorates, I think.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I think it is important about the kicking in the butt for sure. Okay. All right. John, how about you? Do you have anybody besides Dee that you meet with regularly?
Yeah, there's a couple groups that we meet with, and those are for more accountability purposes. And then I have one person that we quote a lot of jobs with, and I've worked with for probably 20 years, and we used to work with each other at the same place that I left from last year. And so we've done a lot of side projects together and worked together for about 15 years. So we stay in contact multiple times a week on different things. And then there are other people that I keep in contact with on a more loosely basis. So maybe every 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks. But yeah, I'd say probably half a dozen people, 2 groups.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Dee, how about you?
So for me, I would say being in the day group and the night group of Design Recharge has been amazing. The day group has a handful of people, and the night group has more, just 2 different sets of people. And then we were just recently invited into a retail group in the Warehouse District that's here in Peoria. It was like the whiskey, a capital of the world back pre-Prohibition. And so now it's being revitalized. So people are moving in and setting up shop, and our office is in that location. And so they invited us in to start collaborating on some promotions, which feels really good.
So then how often does the whiskey group meet?
I think we're just starting out by doing some giveaways online to just kind of co-promote each other, but we plan on doing a block party. So I would say we'll probably start meeting once a week.
I thought Andrew would get it. He'd be like, hey, I want to be in the whiskey group. But then Andre Caetano and Dave were like,
yeah. In fact, I'm going to be really rude and just stand up for 2 seconds. I'm going to come back with something too.
Okay, no problem.
Which may act as my key to the kingdom. I don't know, but.
Okay. All right. So, Van, how about you?
Yeah, so I meet with about 5 people one-on-one pretty much regularly. So it could be weekly, bi-weekly, or weekly, bi-monthly, or once a month. And 4 of the people that I talk to regularly are on this call, so it makes me happy, including you, Diane. I also meet with larger communities, so we're many of us are part of the Future, and we're pro members of that. And I moderate and host the women's subgroup of that of the Future, and we meet between 10 to 40 people weekly around various topics, and so that's pretty enjoyable. And then I belong to a couple of local groups here, women entrepreneur groups in my hometown. And with those groups, I meet once a month.
But you also meet with that dance group.
Yes, and dance groups. Like, there's so many. And everyone that I talk to, their strengths or their focus on, or what I get from them and how I serve them are different. And together it creates this holistic and whole picture, which is what I love so much, because it takes a whole village to get through this together. For sure.
All right. So Paul, how about you? And Donnie's got to go in 8 minutes, so we're going to have to go fast because Donnie's got to answer this question and then the next question. So we're going to go to Paul and then Donnie, and then we'll move to Andre after that. Okay, Paul.
I can be real fast because I'm in awe of all of you doing a wonderful job of this. So there's basically 2 groups that I work with. One is an AIGA group of solopreneurs that meets monthly, so it's not really frequent enough to be accountability. But it still is kind of a support group. The other is a group of book artists, and we meet more or less bi-weekly. And that group's been growing. It's up around 10 or so, maybe getting a little bit too large now. But it is very much an accountability group because we're talking about the different projects we're working on and things like that. But would love to do, more one-on-one kind of stuff. As a certified card-carrying introvert, that's certainly my sweet spot for doing interactions and things. So
Van realized she's not an introvert anymore. She'll have to tell you about that. All right, Donahue.
So I'm part of also a mastermind group. We meet weekly to talk about progress, accountability, and we also just started a book club. And then I meet with 3 separate people weekly. Again, 2 of those are also in this group. And we just keep track of progress of whatever we're working on and our goals, so, through video calls or whatever we can do.
Right, because sometimes accountability isn't always just an hour with somebody. I think Dave was like, when does Van have time to work? She's meeting with all these people, right? And but sometimes that's why I love Marco Polo, because I can walk around my yard, right, and tell Donahue what I'm doing, right, or Finn, or Dee, or whoever, right? So, but then sometimes I have calls, like me and Andrew have a call every third one day in the morning, and then every other week I meet with Andre. So, all right, Andre, you go. Did you finish, right, Donahue? Okay.
I did.
I was part of quite a few groups, but I didn't really find it suitable for me for accountability. I speak to Diane now, which is really helping me massively. The one-on-one, I think, really helps. I'm also with Andrew on. I do need a bit of a kick in the butt every now and then. I like your mirror idea, actually. I might take that on as well.
Actually, we could speak until we become friends, and then it's just useless, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, have a whiskey with yourself in the mirror, right? I've spoken to Demi, reached out. It's not a regular thing yet, but he has given me a lot of great pointers, and I really appreciated that. Definitely going to maintain that. There's another fellow that was in the same school as me. We kind of got back into communication. He's in South Africa, Cape Town, but I actually sort of forced him to become an accountability partner, not really from his side, but from my side. So he kind of gives me a call every week or so and says, how are you getting on with this or that? So yeah, I guess there's a few different accountability people that I speak with. That's where I'm at for that. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to open this up, but I'm going to ask Donahue and Finn because they got to leave. So, because there's
I'm staying a while, Diane.
Okay. Then just Donahue. Okay. So one of the things about accountability, sometimes it's not always about kicking somebody else kicking you in the butt, right? Because sometimes people don't know you well enough to maybe be like, hey dude, are you doing your stuff? Right. But sometimes it's just about showing up and then everybody else has done their stuff and you haven't. And you're like, I'm a loser today. Right. So accountability looks like a lot of different things. So what are some ways, and I love that some of you, like Dave brought in like about the marriage, and I made Van talk about dancing, and there's the whiskey group now, right? So there's other things besides business that we need accountability for, but sometimes I think we forget about those other little things, that ways we can check in. So I just, Donahue, you tell us any that you have, and then I'll open it up to anybody who wants to talk.
Any of other things besides business?
No, well, oh, sure, you can do that. But I was saying other like ways. So we have Zoom meetings, you have phone calls. Right?
Sure. Okay, the ones that I've tried have been in-person monthly meetings, obviously Zoom calls, like we all have lately. We have had, I do Marco Polo with a couple of people and a group of people as well. And Slack is another way of doing that. If you can't, for whatever reason, that week you just can't sync up because of whatever, easily you can just check in and say, this is what I'm trying to do. I'll check in with you later, and then I'll check in and be like, this is what I actually was able to accomplish. And you just can check in like that. So that's what I've done.
I lied again. Twice I've lied today because Donahue's got to go. So we're doing summer camp, and some of the people here are going to be teaching. So Donahue, you're going to be one of those teachers. Can you, and we'll tell you what Marco Polo is in just a second, Jason. It's just an app. Can you tell them what you're going to be teaching?
Yes, I'm going to walk you through how to learn more about your ideal client and how to get to know them more so that you can attract who they are, attract those kinds of people more for your business.
Awesome. So she'll be at summer camp, people. You should sign up, at least to get the emails, right? All right. Do you think, Donahue, real quick, before you go, do you think meeting regularly and the regularity of your accountability, and maybe meeting with more than just one person, has affected your business?
Oh, a million times %. I think there's I can't remember what the statistic is, but it's like if you have an accountability, if you write down your goals and if you share them with other people, you're more likely to accomplish those things. So I think even if you can't make any progress, or everything that you set out to do, like just having the check-in and just like mentally having that a conversation with somebody else. And it doesn't even sometimes have to be about goals. It could just be about just you're mentally stuck, or your mindset, or you're feeling just not great, and you need that person to like bounce back from, or give you a different perspective, or help you, I don't know, like give you some other ideas, or there's just so many different things that person can help you with. And it's really important, obviously, to find the right person for you. Because I've tried before with different people, and it's like, it wasn't until about a year and a half ago that like I realized the kind of person that I need for myself that works for accountability. Because sometimes the other person might not be there, and they may not be able to they have to be there, and you have to have a good safe space and a good relationship, and kind of be in the same place too, and like how much you're committed to be there for each other and to push each other, rather than just like let yourself slack off. So that's really important.
But how can you find that? How can you figure that? I mean, so that's amazing insight. So how would you tell somebody to kind of think about finding that? Because it sounds like it's kind of like dating, sort of.
Yeah, I think so.
Or finding a therapist in a way. Of course, you're paying them and they're there for you, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. For me, it was important to make sure that whoever that person is, even the group of people, but as far as one-on-one, is that person committed as much as you are? Are they in the same similar journey? You know, or maybe they're too far behind or too far ahead. So that's important to look at too. And also, like, are your schedules the same too? Not the same, but like, can you work with that? You know, sometimes people have too much going on, and like, maybe if I team up with a mom that has 3 kids, and you know, maybe that won't work because I don't have any kids. So those are things to look into, but also like people's personality and how well you communicate, and how open you're willing to be with that person as well. And if you're willing to be as honest as possible, and to just kind of, I don't know, just be honest and share the truth, as far as like questioning things, or just helping you get out of that space of just you and your lens, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think sometimes if you don't feel comfortable that you could say something, if you see something is that they're doing is wrong, that's probably not a good fit too, because either you're too afraid of hurting their feelings, or they're too big in your mind. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
And maybe not just to say it, but just to even have the space to ask the questions, you know, and to question, like, are you sure, is this the right thing that you want to do? Or like, why do you want to do that? You know, kind of having that space to explore those things and help each other move through those things together.
Yeah. All right, thanks. You can go now if you want.
Thank you, everyone.
We'll cry a little while you leave.
Yeah. See you later.
Bye, Donahue. Okay, so kind of opening. Oh, no, we got to go to Andre. Sorry, Andre. Oh, no, you went already. You said who you met with, right? Holy moly. I don't even do drugs, people. What'd you say? You've been on. Okay, so this is to anybody and everybody. Does the regularly, clearly it doesn't, my meeting with Andrew doesn't kick him in the butt enough. I'll be up in my game, buddy, just so you know. But how does meeting regularly affect your business? And anybody can, you can maybe just physically raise your hand, and then we can see who's going to go, and then I'll just call on you and you can unmute yourself. Y'all are like this. Okay, D. Then Paul, then Van.
Okay, so being in a group of people is kind of new. We started doing it. I was in the pro group, and that did create some accountability. But being in with Diane has accelerated probably 200% of us reaching a lot of our goals and achieving more than we thought we could.
Yeah. I think being with a smaller group of people, I mean, we're with a group of 4 and a group of 10. It tends to have more accountability. The larger the group gets, I think the less accountability there is, because you're not necessarily the focus. From my experience, I think it's a lot easier to have more accountability as that group starts to reduce down, unless, of course, you're doing presentations or something. But the way that the pro groups are running, I think that the smaller groups are better for accounting, at least in our experience.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Van. For me, it's all the people in one row raise their hand. So I guess we'll do the row above them next. I'm just kidding. Keep going.
Yeah, so I do believe that consistency is huge. I witnessed when for years, like it actually took me like maybe 12 years or so into running my business when I realized that I really needed to reach out and find communities and people who were like-minded, because for years I operated as like an exception within my circle of people, being the only entrepreneur and also a mom. And so once I realized, and it was because I was forced to do that through hitting rock bottom, that I started reaching out to communities and having people who I meet with on a regular basis, then it creates trust and safety, as well as they understand my journey. And that's huge. And likewise, I understand their journey. I think that there's three types of people that I find to be really important in terms of supporting like the journey of entrepreneurship, which is that there's people who are on a parallel with you. So they're next to you and they're going through the similar struggles or experiences. And then there's people who are a few steps ahead of you that can inspire you and help you to, move forward, who were in the place that you were before. And so they get it. And then there's people who are a few steps behind you and you've been there and you're able to also serve and support them. And so it becomes this like really beautiful, harmony and flow. And it's huge. It's so essential.
I think it could be in your business, in one part of your business, you're ahead, but then you're behind that same person in another area of that business. Absolutely. I think that's it's good to remember, because I think sometimes like there have been things, especially when you meet with new people. I remember one of the first times I met with Finn, I was talking, we were explaining, and she was like, yeah, I don't think it's for me, or whatever. We were talking about something specific, and I was like, okay. And Finn's like, oh man, you're throwing me under the bus. No, I love it. I love that she felt comfortable enough to say, I don't get it, or that I wouldn't sign up for that. And so to me, that was, it's something I need. I need somebody who's going to tell me truth, but I also need somebody who's going to see patterns and things. I think maybe one of the things I did for Andrew, clearly not enough, but one of the things maybe is just seeing that he could teach, and I was like, why don't you teach it, create a course? You could create a course and put, right? Because he was teaching at the university level, like these 5 weeks, 6 weeks, business things, right?
Oh, sorry. Yes, exactly. So maybe you are really good with giving a kick, and maybe it's maybe you need pointier shoes. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's my southernness coming out. We do it real, smooth, sweetness, right?
Yeah. But I think that's right. I mean, you essentially did gently bully me into doing it, and I think maybe part of it as well is that I've got an issue with time and timing. I've got sort of a weird neurology. I'm not to take up too much time, but I'm autistic, I'm left-handed, and I'm bilingual. All three of which have got an effect on how your head's wired. So I find it really difficult knowing when I'm talking too much, for example. So if you don't tell me to shut up, I'll still be talking tomorrow. I've got difficulty saying goodbye or ending a conversation. So things like that have got an effect. And
you're Southern. That's what you're saying.
Despite the accent, probably. All the music that I love's from your neck of the woods, right? It's like I've got 42 James Brown albums right there, right? But yeah, there is somebody who I speak with really, really irregularly who's not Diane, because that is regularly. But that's never kind of scheduled. So we, as luck would have it, we spoke today, just on the phone, and we spoke for probably about 3/4 of an hour until he got a different call. And actually that helped a lot. He also used to be in the pro group. And a couple of things came up on both sides that we thought, oh, actually that really works. I can implement that. So I'm going to have to change the course slightly that I'm starting on Monday. And he's got some stuff that he can go away and do. So, but it's not so structured somehow.
But maybe that works better for you, right? Just like Donahue was saying, you got to find. So Paul, I'm going to go, because you were the last one on that row. So you said, thank you, Andrew. And I'm glad you think we meet regularly, and I now kick your butt just a little bit. Okay. So Paul, what about you?
I don't even remember what the question was.
I don't either. Oh,
no.
I think,
I think, it does help business tremendously, and that forming that habit, that like the creative habit that, Twyla Tharp talks about and others. I think that's an essential part of it. The other key thing that I see for it, whether it's regular accountability partners or not, is just talking through things. Sometimes getting the things that are going on in your head out, all of a sudden when you say it, it's like, oh, that's stupid, or oh, that's obvious. Why don't I do that? But somehow, until you get it out, until someone else can hear it, it doesn't become real, I guess. So that's something that's huge for me, and something I would like to see more of. And I guess when I was talking about partners, I should also mention, so I talk with my wife a lot about things. She's not in design or anything. And a lot of times it's that, just talking through ideas, even if she's maybe not necessarily listening to me. But at least we're talking about things, or I'm talking about things, and it makes more sense, and certain things will then resonate or stick. And that helps tremendously.
I think this brings up an interesting point, though, because I think we're talking about accountability here specifically, but I feel like accountability is just one component of, many different components that help people move forward. And if someone's not ready to move forward, if there's mindset issues or things that they're stuck on or things that they're holding on to, you can have as many accountability partners as you want. They're not necessarily going to push you through that barrier. And maybe what Paul was talking about is getting some of that stuff, clutter in your mind or emotionally or whatever, getting it out onto a sounding board, onto someone else to get some feedback, or just to get it out of your system. It hasn't really maybe nothing to do with accountability, but I feel like there's other layers there before or as part of accountability. It's not the magic bullet that's going to solve everything.
Maybe it's about relationships in business, and then it's all you, Demi. Let me just say this one thing. But I think when Finn said to me, she was asking good questions. I think, Annalise challenged me. Annalie, you want me to call you Annalie? I know, I'm calling you. I mess up sometimes. But when you Finn asked me, she just was curious. And I think it's the being consistent or meeting on a regular, showing up, kind of like what Donahue was saying, I think is really important. It doesn't mean that you always have to have your butt kicked. Okay, Demi, then Finn. And then maybe Dee said something. I don't know. Did Dee say something? No. Okay. Demi.
Finn was first.
Oh, Finn.
Oh, was that? Okay. Well, doesn't matter. I guess, so just to follow up on what you just said, Diane, and what Dave said. So I take a bit of a wider view around the issue of accountability, because, this whole thing around sort of someone to put my feet to the fire or, kick my butt or whatever, like that doesn't really work for me. For me, I'm an out loud thinker. I need to process things a lot. So the more people I can have that I can repeat the same thing to, because repeating the same thing to the same person, over and over, they can get tired of me pretty quickly. But if I have 3 or 4 people that I can kind of repeat the same, my same thoughts, sort of, and emotions, and sort of what I'm going through to, that helps me work my way through it. And really, sort of at the heart of it for me, accountability is about sort of people coming together who have a genuine shared interest in seeing each other grow, and wanting each other to succeed. And they're people that can like whose support I can count on, who can be with me, who can witness sort of whatever I'm experiencing and hold space for it, because sort of I'm pretty self-aware. So it's just sort of having someone there to be able to reflect that back to me. And yeah, like I said, someone who can help sort of both like process the ideas and the challenges that I might be having, and I'll do the same back. So that's sort of my general view of accountability. And it, just to answer the initial question, it has helped my work and my both personal and professional growth immensely.
I love that. It's about relationships, right?
100%. Relationships and connection. Absolutely.
I also think if you want accountability on something, then you need to ask for it. So Mario does that for me. I mean, I asked Mario to do something very specific for me, and he does. All right, Demi, then Mario's going to introduce himself. Okay.
Okay, so now you said something I was about to disagree with, like the asking for it bit. So to riff on the whole to the whole matter of building relationships, I think this creates lots of indirect accountability as well. Like when you develop a specific conversation and a specific aspect of your business with someone as a companion, there's this added weight or added responsibility of what sort of business person do my actions make me? Am I following through? So for example, like I remember when I was doing my rebrand for quite a while. I've been Van. I have been talking about while I was doing it, and other people, and you, Diane. And at some point, I remember, for example, that a faulty notification on social media just spread out the message that I changed my Facebook page name. And then I realized that nothing on my website was published and nothing was ready yet. So I had to do a triple sprint just to make sure that everybody who got the notification and would be close to me enough that they would check my website, as a result of that, they would find what they would expect from Demi in such a situation. So this is a sort of indirect thing that as you grow your connections, it becomes even more valuable, at least for me, compared to a weekly catch up or how's it going, or getting bullet points on a list. I think it creates a more long-term accountability mesh, I would say.
I love that. Okay, Mario, you introduce yourself. We're going back to question 1 for you. Could you tell people who you are, where you live, what you do, and how long you've owned your own business?
Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes.
I am Mario Quesada. I am a brand strategist. I do a lot of mindset work as well. I live in Hawaii, Honolulu, Hawaii. I've owned my own business. I mean, I've been doing contracting and kind of side entrepreneurialism for as long as I can remember, actually, since 1996. In some way, shape, or form, I've always done some kind of contracting work.
How old were you in 1996?
I was very young.
How young?
I was geez.
So in 1996, I always think it's rude to ask because we're
early.
in the South.
I was early in 96 when I started working. I was 21. So I turned 22 in 96. So.
Okay. So I was 23 in 96. I just want to let you know. So you and Andrew are the same age. Just calling you out.
Yes, we are.
Okay, keep going. Oh, Annalie too. Okay.
Annalie too. Or was I? Okay, what's the next question? Okay. Sorry guys. Okay. I've had toddlers jumping all over me this morning, so.
It's 5 hours earlier.
Yes, it is 9:20 in the morning, so.
Okay. So Demi just wants to make sure everybody knows he was 9 in 1996. People, okay? All right. So The
So
next question, Mario, was, do you meet with somebody regularly? Yes or no?
In what capacity? Because I do meet with people regularly, but
Okay,
in what
so
capacity?
we were talking about accountability, but so Dave said that he and his wife do a marriage meeting. I don't know what it was called. Like, what you call it, Dave?
It's called Love After Marriage, and we have like 2 other couples that we meet up with on a monthly basis.
A group, right? But so
Yeah.
and you talk about your marriage and right?
Yeah.
So we talked about that. Van talked about a dance group she's in. I made her talk about that. I mean, Annalise does things with dog people because she loves dogs. So it could be anything. And then most of us kind of talked about groups one-on-one or small groups that we're in, or even large groups that we're in.
Okay. Yeah, I meet with many people regularly for various reasons, mostly me pouring out or mentoring or coaching. And very irregularly, I meet with people to like peer mentoring kind of things. I don't have anybody specifically pouring into me right now, like one-on-one, but always kind of keep my ears open for that opportunity.
Okay. So, and then the kind of next question, this could be anybody again, if you want to answer this question. Does the regularity affect your business? And have you seen more growth when you meet more often? Kind of like a crash course kind of thing. Did you ever take a like a 6-week course in college? Or we're still talking about how old we were in 1996, people.
Yes. I think very focused sprints like that, like crash courses or meetings or things that kind of keep you on task are very helpful in design and business and life. People that you invite, I think Demi kind of touched on this, like as you invite people into your life to be accountable, to help you be accountable, then that's kind of an open invitation for them to really, it's not me being accountable to anybody, but them helping me be accountable to myself. Right. So, and then what Dave said is absolutely true. If you're not ready to execute on any of that stuff, then there's no reason to have anybody barking at you.
All right. So we have only a little bit of time, and I wanted the teacher or whatever. My friend Tara said I shouldn't call them teachers. They're the presenters for camp, because camp happens. Hopefully you'll be able to start signing up on Friday. Lord Jesus, awesome. Let me get all this stuff done. But if not, maybe it'll be Saturday or Monday, but you'll get an email. If you don't know, you should get on the email list at creativesignite.com. So Annalie, you start us off. Tell us what you're going to be teaching.
Okay. I'm going to talk about selling creative services. And my goal is that you will have a positive mindset to selling after that call and get inspired to do it your own way. And I will talk about energy and mindset that is more important for me than traditional sales training. And I get my inspiration from Cesar Millan, the dog whisperer, instead of old guys sales technique, from the 80s. Don't like that style. So Diane calls me that says that I'm Cesar Milaning it, and I love it. I love that expression. And I know a lot of creative people have a fear of selling. So I just want to give it another perspective, and I hope you will love it instead of fear it, because I do.
And you've had a lot of success in this. You have a lot, you have been able in this Zoom or COVID time, right? You've been able to kind of pick up on energies, even in a Zoom room when you've been talking, right?
Yeah, that's one of my skills.
It's one of your superpowers, for sure.
It's one of my superpowers. I think you can read the room and read people, and I see people. I see people in a meeting, even if we're 80 people, I see everybody. And that's why I think energy is so important.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Finn, what are you going to be teaching?
Well, you picked my topic for me, Diane. You said, Finn, I want you to talk about finding clarity in your brand. And I went, okay.
Isn't that one of your pillars? My goodness, you do that so well for me.
It is.
I'm like, oh no.
So I, no, I'm just teasing you. So I approach things from a bit of a therapeutic background. So my work is all about finding clarity in your brand through sort of an identity-driven approach, meaning it's all about connecting to like who we are and our personal narrative and our experiences and our, you know, sort of our values and really just anchoring our work in those areas. So to always sort of go back to them to help guide the way to getting clarity and making choices that serve our business. So it's about sort of bringing alignment to what we do by sort of matching it up with who we are and what we believe in. So yeah, I'm all about sort of the personal narrative and approaching things from an identity-driven perspective. So I'll be talking about that.
Sweet. All right, Andrew.
So I will be talking about delighting with details. And it sounds like Diane's pulled the same trick on you, Finn, as she did on me. So, but genuinely, I'm kind of quite really looking forward to that. The kind of the two bits that would fit into most would be to reach and to retain. So I think that you reach people with if you reach people with delight, then they're generally going to be quite open to what you have. And if you delight people who are already with it or who already have visibility of you and who already have an affinity to you, perhaps even if we're lucky, have loyalty to you, then you grow that exponentially by delighting them. So I'll be looking at some examples of that, and they're all short and simple, and ways that people can perhaps adopt them for themselves as well.
All right. And Mario's going last because he's going to be first. He's going to kick it off on June 29th. And you might think, oh, he's so chill. He's going to not be chill. He's going to be all pumped up, excited. I'm just kidding. He might still be chill. He's a really good energy chameleon, I think. Right?
That's a good word for it. Yes, chameleon.
Okay, wait, don't unmute. Tell us what you're going to talk about.
Oh, you said I was going last because I was going first. Didn't you just say I was going last?
No, I mean, because you are the last person here that is a speaker. So now you're going to go, and I'm telling everybody we're going to move on to the next question, which is really, we only have 2 minutes left. So I'm going to tell you a little bit. Denny's like, oh my God, you're just digging in a grave. Go, Mario. Tell them what you're going to teach.
I'm going to talk about building trust as quickly as possible, coming into meetings, meeting anybody for the first time, and how I go about that, and kind of speaking about like the importance of being yourself, but also being ready to kind of build that bridge of trust.
I love his title. You want to tell him what it is?
Sure. It's Head Empty, Heart Full is the title of it.
It's good. Up your game, people. If you're going to look, Annalise like, I'm ready. I'm bringing it. It is. Finn says it's a good title. Okay. So let me tell you a little bit about what camp is, and then I'll let y'all go. It is, what I'm asking you to do is 30 minutes of learning and 30 minutes of action. Hey, Alexa. Anyway, that everybody's Alexa just came on when I said that, probably, right? It's like saying Siri to my computer. Anyway, man, I got the ADHD going. Anyway, 30 minutes of learning and then 30 minutes of action during 5 weeks in July so that you're going to commit to learning and growing your business. But you don't have to do it alone unless you're the day camper experience, which I think is the lonely camper. But whatever. The happy camper is the one who gets the Slack channel so you can get daily kind of connection. You also get Wednesday night, which would be too late for Andrew and Andre and Anna Lee for sure, and Dimmy. I don't know. Dimmy seems like he'd stay up late. But then there's also a Saturday one, and the Happy Camper and the Trailblazer. Those are two. The Trailblazer gets like real swag things happen in your mailbox from me, but the Happy Camper, they get also a workshop with Dave Clayton, who is in the UK. So some of you people will be able to understand them without any problems. I'm just kidding. Everybody can understand all of y'all, thankfully, because I only speak one language. My mom's like, oh goodness, here we go. Her internet's gonna cut out in just a minute. So anyway, one of the things, I was talking to Dee yesterday, and I said, why would you want to come to camp? Do you want to tell them why, or do you want me to read what you wrote?
You go ahead and read it. Okay. We'll see how you absorb this.
Okay. That's in my other book, and I don't have that right. Oh yeah, that's it. No, man. I got it right here. You just have to find the page. You said setting and meeting design goals, that you would make new friends, make big progress in short time, get momentum, and you're going to learn from new people. Maybe people you hadn't heard of, because I always think there's true gems in that, right?
Right. Everybody has a different backpack they bring to everybody has a different backpack, and I just love to see what they have in it.
Right. So you know who it's not for? I have a whole list of people it's not for. Really, it's not for people who aren't going to commit to their business in the month of July. Like they're where they want to be. They don't need to make any new clients or new relationships. Anybody who wants a golden ticket or a get new clients, quick key command on getting new clients, because I think it's about building relationships and learning how to build relationships. And if this whole meetup doesn't, to me, I mean, I have met everybody at least once. So it's just time, giving people time. Paul comes a lot, right? And we met on LinkedIn. People, it's not as archaic. I think it's an untapped place where probably our clients are hanging out at, right? But it's nice to share and get to know people. And then there are all kinds of things that you'll be learning, and some people you have heard of, and then some people who are these golden gems I can't wait to introduce you. So I'm just going to give you some of the topics. And if you go to creativesignite.com on Monday, for sure, it'll be there. And there's an early bird price. You can get the day camper rate, but you can be a happy camper. Is that happy camper? Yeah, happy camper at the day camper rate. Anyway, day campers, they missed out on a lot of the stuff because they didn't hang out at night, right? Look, Van's like, you shouldn't say that, Diane. Her face is like, or she's on the internet surfing like Demi's doing something else. He's like doing something with icons, probably. I'm just kidding, buddy. Demi's like, oh, I am. Anyway, here we go. My friend Crystal is going to talk about powerless language. I bet we're all kind of using some of this in some of our emails. My friend Claire is going to talk about the power of fear and overcoming it, and the use of visualization. Gay Hendricks, you guys probably don't know who this man is. Okay. Oh, hey, Andrew, I'm so glad somebody, anyway, he's like a big deal.
He's incredible. And if you haven't read his book, read it.
Which one? He has multiples.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know.
He has a new one.
There was one about
The Big Leap?
Time. Yes, that's it. The Big Leap. I got a client of mine. I told my client about it, and the client went straight onto Amazon, bought it, and then like the next day sent me a photo of him holding the book.
So
that's how good it is.
I am recording his session today. He is going to be talking. I'm like blown away. I was so excited. I had to call my therapist friend and be like, oh my gosh, I got Gay Hendricks. Of course, totally got it because of Claire. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But she was like, oh my gosh, I mean, he's big. I'm like, I know. Anyway, hopefully I'm not blowing it out of proportion. You people all get lots out of it. It's a lot of mindset work. But he talks about living in your zone of genius and your zone of expertise. Whenever I've told you about breathing into fear and the difference of fear and excitement, that's Gay Hendricks. He's a clinical psychologist, and he's helped lots of people, and he's been around, he's done stuff. He's a trailblazer for sure. Jamal Collins is going to be talking about not giving up and motivation, working hard. Chris Do, I think you people have heard of him. I think that's how I pretty much everybody but Paul I met through Chris Do. And really John Ingalls I didn't meet through Chris Do. I met through his wife, Dee. Anyway, why can't I read? It's on a sheet of paper here in front of me. And Chris and I are going to talk about the willingness to fail and chasing failure. That it's not the enemy. Pim Her is going to be talking about self-advocacy and asking for more every time. Maybe not every time from the same client. They probably won't be your client for very long if every time you keep going up on their rates. But maybe. Scotty Russell is going to talk about ability to shift perspectives and reach your audience. Colleen Gratzer, oh Lord, I shouldn't be saying people's last names. Accessibility. Chris Gilchrist, he's going to talk about SEO. Henry Kaminsky Jr., I'd like to make sure. Anyway, he's from the pro group too. He's going to talk about sales funnels and landing pages. My sister, but she's really smart, people. She really got the brains in the family, just so you know. Somebody's like, my mom's like, amen to that. Anyway, just kidding. Creating surveys and analyzing the data to make changes. I always feel like I kind of have to say this, but she worked for MTV. Like, she's an entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur. She runs the entrepreneurship program at UNC Chapel Hill. And I mean, she doesn't teach, right? Anyway, whatever. She coaches people, whatever. My friend Troy, he does eye tracking. He also has a PhD. He's going to be talking about stakeholders, personas, the lifestyle journey of the customer. I don't know how he can do that in 20 minutes because he doesn't talk that fast, people. But we'll see. Melinda Livesey, I think some of you guys know who she is. She's going to be talking about nurture building trust through email sequence. Mike Janda, he's going to be talking about, this is what I told him, and then they've all adjusted it a little bit. It's totally fine. Taking notes, listening to your customers' pain points through personal experience, and understanding your clarity of your content and the value of the content that you're sharing. Tom Ross is going to talk about the real connection with the audience and the power of the DM on Instagram. Mario's friend, who I probably need to get back in touch with because he's not answering my emails, but maybe he will. Hopefully, well, he'll be one of the special guests here. But Jesse Showalter, he does specific content for a niche audience on YouTube. And so for UX UI designers. So it's talking to somebody who has niched, who does create content. Because sometimes I feel like, oh, we're going to run out. We worry that we're going to run out of things. So how do we continually be creating content? Laura Beauparlant is going to talk about brand authenticity. I did have her on my show recently. She wrote that book, Brand Chemistry, which is awesome. She's also from Canada, Finn and Dave. Hey, another Canadian. Here we go. Bonnie Sang, she's going to talk about courage and vulnerability because she kicks butt in that. And my friend Nick O'Leary, probably messing up his last name. He's from Ireland. I don't know. We just call him Nick O, right, Finn? She's like, I'm not really paying attention. I'm going to go ahead and go
yes,
to
I am. Yes, we sure do.
Okay. He's going to talk about self-talk, the power of self-talk, the positive and negative, and how it can really make a difference, whether it's positive or negative. Annalie, this is what I said. The energy that you bring into a room, understand selling like a pack leader. Amy Lyons, that one's for you. Because Amy, I'm not calling you out, but sort of, I guess. But we're all a little scared about selling. We're like, don't want to be sleazy. And I feel bad. I even feel a little guilty telling you guys about this. But I'm really excited about camp. Okay. Finn is going to talk about clarifying your message and how important that is. Obviously, she already told you. Mario already told you what he was going to do, which is, I just love the head empty, heart full, about making real connections early. So sometimes it takes a long time to connect with people, and he's going to kind of get us the skinny on how to do that in a little bit quicker way and really build a bond earlier with your friends, with your clients, with everybody, right? Stuff you could do with everybody, right? He's nodding his head for people who are listening,
Yes,
just so you
yes,
know.
yes, yes.
The rocks don't rattle. You missed that part. That was my joke. But my mom really did used to say that to me. She would say, Diane, I can't hear those rocks rattling in your head. Anyway, I love you, Mom. Here we go. She's probably like, my friend Karina is going to be talking about delivering your ideas. So it's sort of in the vein of Andrew with this delighting in the details. It's kind of what we do to retain them, what we do to make love on our customers, love on our clients. And she presents in a really neat way. I know we all have ways we present. I always think it's good to see how somebody else does it, because maybe you can like hone in and pull something out from somebody else. But if you never see how anybody else, reaps the harvest or plants the seeds, you're never gonna, I was about to say know how to hoe, but hey, John and I were talking about hoeing. We were literally hoeing in the garden. Anyway, I'm just digging the ditch. Okay. And my friend Dustin is going to talk about keeping people opening your emails when you have a sales series and how you could do that to keep it. He's also very vulnerable and funny and just a great writer. Donahue, she told you what she was going to talk about, but understanding kind of the mission and understanding your ideal customer and what you need to do to understand how to reach them. Andrew, again, I have details which delight. I think that's a good way to say it, right? And Asha was here earlier, but she's gone already. She's going to talk about, I have like one motivator each week, because I think we need a motivation, kind of like kick in the butt, right? With the pointy shoes, I guess, for some people. But she's going to talk about the power of being unstoppable, or being unstoppable, and not letting something, when life just keeps throwing it at you, she just hasn't let things go. And she also has something in there, hopefully she'll mention, about breaking out of some cultural mindsets, because I know from the South there are certain things that are put on me as a girl in the South, that you kind of have to bust out of. I think there are things for men, there are things for different cultures, that you have to kind of break out of, or you have to get out of your head. So there's mindset work, because we need that as entrepreneurs, because we are sometimes kind of mean to ourselves in our heads. And then there's real practical tips. There's some techie tips. I'm just going to say it, Finn. Okay. Finn was like, I think I'd skip that week. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to do it linearly then. It'll be smattered in. So we know Finn won't go with those people, but hopefully I found some serious value to some of those things. So hopefully you guys will too. And what I'm asking all the teachers to do, and I'm creating a workbook, and there's a sheet for each teacher. So then there's 2 or 3 pieces that you will be able to take action in those 30 minutes that you're committing to. So 30 minutes to learn, and then 30 minutes to commit to some actionable step that you can take. And this is, me and Dee were talking about yesterday, that it can escalate the growth of your business. And that's what I want. I want to see you grow. And I'm offering a money back guarantee, which means if you've watched the videos and you've done the actionable tips, and it's, you're at the end and I'm like, this sucked, Diane, I want my money back, then I'm going to give you your money back. So that's how much I believe in these people, and that's how much I believe in this thing. This was really put on my heart in 2016, and it's just finally come to fruition. So there will be small groups as we break out on the community meetings. So I think Van's one of my counselors, right? So there will be some people who will be kind of running some of those things. I think some of the teachers will even be running some of those for me as well. Some people might be in a group without somebody, and that's okay too. Anyway, we don't have time for questions. I'm so sorry I ran over. It was just a soliloquy. I have no idea what y'all are saying in the chat, because I definitely can't read and talk. Anything?
Everyone wants your mom on the show.
Their internet's really sucky there. I've asked her. She doesn't know how to use the iPad to show her face. So
we've got to figure out that, because we hear so much about her. So
pretty much I'm my mom, but younger than my mom. But that's what my cousins, they're like, oh, that's just a little Elaine.
All the more reason we want to hear from her.
That's why everyone
But she
wants
talks real Southern. All right, Mom, that's it. You got to do it. You're going to have to go to Dad's computer. Anyway, any questions about camp? Anything you think I should add, or reasons that you're not going to show up that I can make it better for you? I mean, do you really want to be a day camper? Links to camp are creatives with a S, ignite.com. So I'm writing all kinds of things, and hopefully it'll all get done today. We'll see, but I got my first recording today with Gay Hendricks. Thank you, Andrew, for read his book.
Yeah.
That's going to be
not just read it, but I've sold it once to somebody as well, just by telling them how great it was. Yeah.
See? That's awesome.
Yeah, he's written like 30 books.
There's a lot.
There's a lot.
Wow.
It just keeps rolling.
I think I got it by accident once on Audible. I'm sure that's how it first, it was recommended for you, and then before you know it, Fat Thumbs and a couple of whiskeys, and
you just spent $19.99,
right?
Yep.
And then after that, I bought the physical book because it's nicer sometimes. And then I told this client about it, and he went and just bought it like that. So now you've just given me another 29 books that I need to buy and read. So.
Well, guys, I will see you next week. We have my friend Rob McClurkin. He's an illustrator, and he's been doing children's books, and he's done work for Marvel. You've heard of that company, maybe? Yeah. Mm-hmm. But he's Marvel Comics. It's like Superman. Annalie's like, I don't know those people. Superman? I don't know that. Batman?
Superman's DC, actually.
Yeah,
well, then who's Marvel?
Come on.
Really, I don't know.
My son's going to get on you for that.
Okay. Well, you people will know. I've seen the children's books. Okay. See Rob draw is what it is. And it's like normal. Anyway, clearly I don't know, but it's a superhero. Look, I'm red. Oh, the shame. I'm going to go downstairs. I'm just kidding. I'm not. Like it going downstairs. Anyway, I know. Demi's like, I'm going to go back to listening every week. Woo,
love that backdrop. You look like you're in heaven.
Thanks, Steve. All right, guys. I will see you next week with Rob McClurkin. And thank you for being my friends. And thank you for being here. Oh, the phones are ringing. It's okay, John. It's totally fine, buddy. He's like, oh, no, we've got to go. All right. Thank you. I can't wait to see you at camp.